So just about 3 weeks back, I talked about SIA and SATS in a video right over here, and I've written time to buy SIA and SATS, right? Is the aviation sector recovering? So in this video right over there were some downside targets that were drawn because it still seems like, SIA and SATS were in a downtrend and there could still potentially be more weakness. Hey guys, Joey here, top tier advisor in Philips Securities and chief trainer at Trading Impossible, right? So this was done about 3 weeks back, and 3 weeks have passed, and we'll look at SIA and SATS again because it seems like sellers are still coming back to take prices even lower, alright? And we've kind of breached some of our targets, and even the support levels have broken down as well. And we're going to take a look at SIA right now as of the 11th of August 2020, and look at SATS as well to see if there could still be more downside, and if you should be thinking about buying these counters right now, or perhaps wait for it to fall to a certain levels before entering in these counters. Let's take a look at SIA and SATS right now. So before I move on, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit the like button so that it will help YouTube algorithm reach out to more people, and thank you so much for doing this. Okay, so this is SIA right over here as of the 11th of August 2020, just before the market opened, and we're currently trading about $3.49, right? So just about 3 weeks back, I mentioned in a video as well, about 16th of July, we're right around here, around that 370, 380 mark, and there were some downside targets that were drawn, right? Because in terms of the trend, alright, it still looks quite weak. I talk about the longer term trend, the mid-term trend, it's like pretty much still pointing down. You can see that this red line, 100 days moving average, is sloping downwards, and prices is kind of like pushing parallel to it as well. So it's kind of below these red lines, 100 days moving average that is sloping downwards. So the trend still looks weak in the mid to long term. Alright, and right over here you can see that just about a week back, we kind of broke that support at about 350 to 360. I talk about it as well. We kind of headed to a low of about $3.20, and that was where some buying came back. So we rebounded a bit, and we are now back to that 350, 360 support turn resistance level, and it seems like sellers are coming back out. Let me just zoom it in for you. Look at this green line right away. You can see that this green line is what we call the 20 days moving average. Alright, and it kind of like acts as a bit of a dynamic resistance as well right over here. So that, and right now I would say that the resistance would be about $3.60, right? Because that was originally the support. We broke down, we're kind of like attempting to push up again, but anything below 60 cents, just want to take note, that's where sellers might come back again. We might potentially see a bit of selling pressure back down to that 320 recent low, alright, and the 320 to break down, we might potentially head towards that $3. So this would be SIA, I would say, in terms of the trend. You just want to be careful if you're holding on to counters like this. As I mentioned, the aviation sector is still hit for now, in terms of the current COVID-19 pandemic, even though there are talks going around with different countries of green lanes and travelers coming in again, but it still takes a while for in terms of tourism sector and the aviation sector to really pick up and see travelers really traveling like they used to pre-COVID-19. Alright, so this is SIA right over here in the aviation sector. We might still see more weakness, I would say, especially if we were to stay below that $3.60 resistance level. So this is SATS right over here as of the 11th of August 2020, just before the market opened, and we kind of closed at about $2.70 just last week. Alright, so you can see that in terms of the trend, it looks something like SIA. I've talked about it in the previous video as well. It's pretty much in a downtrend for the mid to long term, and so far there are no clear signs of an upside reversal, right? Especially we are right now in this current COVID-19 pandemic, right? So we're kind of seeing a bit of good support, alright, at this $2.60. In fact, since March, right, we kind of rebounded from this $2.60 support level about 4 to 5 times, I would say. So this 260 level would be where buyers might come back again, or those who have shorted might want to take some profits, they might do some short covering as well, or it might rebound from there. So we might potentially see a bit of buying coming back about 260, but it doesn't mean like buying means going up and reversing all the way back up to like $3 or $4, right? We might start to see a bit of buying coming back and potentially hitting back to that 280, 270, and that's where sellers can come back again. So the range now, I would say, would be probably about 260 to 280. We are right now at about $2.70, just right in the center, but we might consolidate from 260 to 280. So the downtrend, to be honest, looks quite weak. It still looks pretty much intact, I would say, below that 280 immediate resistance level. All right, and that's where that 20 days green line, the 20 days moving average is as well. All right, but you just want to be careful, because if that 250 to 260 level, all right, were to break down, all right, we might still see a bit more selling coming back again. We might start to see the downtrend continuing, sellers pushing prices even lower, all right, and that we might potentially head towards that 220 or even the $2 level. Right, so this would be SATS. I would say the trend still looks down from now. You want to be careful if you're holding on to long positions. You might want to think about probably getting out on any rebound, and probably think about how you can profit from the downside as well by using CFD, contract for difference. Right, so this is SATS. Just take note, because we are pretty much, this is still in the aviation sector, which I talk about, and we might still see weakness, because the aviation sector and the tourism sector in Singapore would still take a while to recover, right? As long as there's still infected cases around the world, and now we're talking about a second wave of infections coming. Some countries are going on to their first wave, and some countries are moving on to the second wave, and it seems like it's going to take a while to resolve this whole entire COVID-19 pandemic situation. Okay, so this is SATS as of the 11th of August 2020. So I hope you have taken note of these levels for SIA and SATS. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so that you will be alerted whenever any new videos like this comes out on YouTube. Right? So thank you so much for watching. Joey here. Take care.